Good evening, class, and welcome to the screen tour of my fund development course. For some of you who are not in class tonight, this might be helpful. I'm hoping this will give you kind of a broad brush of what you missed tonight. There were only 3 students in class tonight, so I know this will be helpful for most of you, or at least I hope it will be. You're actually looking at my instructor page, so some of these items won't show up on yours, but we'll kind of start from the beginning. This is my home page, and this is what most of you will see when you come in. I have tried to add in due dates and some things, but they won't show up immediately. They'll show up later on down the road here under the to do items, but you have to turn that notification on. Okay, this course is organized in such a way that every item on here feeds into your project, which we'll get to. And then it is organized in 10 steps. And the Instructional Technology Office was kind enough to develop a graphic that shows it to you right here, the 10 steps of fund development. I'll move that up so we can see it. Anyway, the 10 steps of fund development, as you can see here, are listed out in the green box 1 through 10. Each one of those steps is related to your project. Your project is then broken out in that little circle right there. Approximately half of your project is a case statement. Then 1/4 is an audience survey, and 1/4 is an awareness plan. And this will all be explained as you go through the step process. And you can see alongside of it, each one of those steps is connected to one of the portions in your project. As you proceed through this, once you complete your project, you can then implement it using steps 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then also here you have my contact information. Okay, so if we page down, there are some, this is under the tab on the left that says 10 steps to fund development. Let me take my little cursor over there. There it is, 10 steps to fund development. As you page down, you'll see there'll be instructions, general instructions for your assignment. This is taken directly out of your syllabus, and we'll go to the syllabus in a second. And then it goes through step by step. Each one of those has an individual file folder. And for the sake of discussion, let's move up here. I'd like each of you to go in and probably either download or save onto your own computer a copy of the syllabus, which is right here. It's a PDF file, easy to download, and you could take a look at it there. And a lot of the dates, due dates, and general instructions are contained in there. All right, let's go back to the fund development. And let's take a look at maybe your first step. Okay, your first step, which will be due, I believe, next week according to the syllabus, is step 1, fundraising 101. This is a very general step. There are some videos for you to watch, and every single step that you have has an objective that explains what I hope that you will learn from this step. And various little things about fundraising. Then there's also some general things about fundraising in the United States, global fundraising, and then a little bit about the AFP Donor Bill of Rights, and I have that both in English and in Spanish. Anyway, and then we take you to the discussion board. Each discussion board, I'm expecting you to do this after you've looked at the items within the step. Each one of the discussion board items, as you saw earlier, feeds into your project. And right now we're just going to take a look at the discussion board. So you click this on, and it will take you to the discussion board. This particular discussion board, hopefully it loads up. I understand that one of your classmates has had issues. There seems to be some problems with Mac products, including my iPad. But right now I happen to be looking at this on my laptop, on my Dell laptop. And right here you can see this is your posting, and this is your very first one. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back out. Hang on, move up a little bit. This is so fun with this screencaster showing you guys this, so hopefully this all works as we planned here. Going back to the 10 steps of develop, I want to show you something else that you'll see when you're doing this, because I don't want anybody to get too terribly concerned. If we go to step 2 here, and let's say you look at your objectives, you watch the TED Talk, you read the article, and you progress down here a little further, you'll get to your discussion board. Note here that there are instructions. I've noticed personally that not everything leads you to the correct link, and it doesn't always show up in the right spot. So to make it easier on you so that you can find it, each of the discussion board has a threaded discussion that will show up in the right place, but sometimes from the link isn't incredibly clear. So when you go to the discussion board and you click it on, just showing you here, oh my goodness, it looks like you don't see the instructions. Where's your prompt, right? Okay, if you go to create thread, under the forum description, you will find the prompt of what you need to discuss. In this particular one, we talk about why people give and the sources of charity. So you can read this through yourself. There's also a web address. And then you will do your own post in here. I would recommend that when you do your own post that you put your name in parentheses. So in this case, we're going to say, love ya, okay? And then we're going to write our initials, and in my case, we'll just do mine. Similar to that, okay? So that's what I would kind of expect to do. So now let's get out of this and let's go look at your project. Okay, this class, as you noticed before, has a project. It's a final culminating project. You'll be given enough time to do this. In fact, there are open spots where there's not as much to do, where you'll be working on your own, developing your project. Your project is designed to be useful to you, especially if you are working with an organization. I understand from reading some of the recent posts tonight that a few of you have ideas of organizations that you would like to work with. This is where this will come in very handy for you. Okay, so the project itself is basically expected to be APA format, 1-inch margins, double space, Times Roman 12 point. I'd like to have a cover page with the name of the organization that you're looking with, and I'd like the page count not to include the cover. I expect your project to be 5 pages in length and definitely not more than 10. Please, no, no more than 10. The case statement will take up approximately 3 pages of your project. And then the audience survey and the awareness strategy will also be included. And don't worry about what those 2 things are yet. As you proceed through the steps, it will become evident. I know that a lot of you are not working for nonprofits and community benefit organizations, so there's a good chance that you don't have something in mind. So I would like you to take a look for things that you feel passionate about, things that you really like to do, and if I can help you connect with someone, I will. If you have an organization in mind, fabulous. You'll have to let me know. Just read the instructions under Project Contact, because you'll need to let me know who you select by October 1st. If you don't have anyone, I have a list of individuals that you can contact, because you will need to interview these people to get the information necessary to complete the case statement and the rest of your documents. And I have a number of individuals here that you can see that you may contact that will be able to help you. You are expected to do a project profile, or a development profile project, and within that you'll have to do interview questions. And the interview questions will be another step. Everything feeds into something else. And then at the very end, you'll be expected to load up 2 single PowerPoint slides to explain what your project is about. And then if we'll all cross our fingers, we'll do collaborate, and we'll all get together online so that we can talk about everyone's projects. So as I mentioned before, each one of the 10 steps is linked, the activity is linked to either one of 2 things on your Blackboard, either the share, which is the discussion board, or the idea blog. And the idea blog, let's just go to this real quickly. And by the way, there are links from the individual steps. You'll see them. The awareness strategies are in here. The interview questions. This is so that you and your classmates can share ideas, because we are working collectively. And I understand there was a question brought up in class tonight that how do I develop my interview questions? Once you take a look at the case statement, you'll see what you need to know to develop a proper case statement. So I expect you to kind of throw out some questions, and your classmates will help you develop those as you go along. When you get to the very end, the you got a plan, let's just take a look at that, for example. And is it going to open up for me? Oh, yes. My fast computer, as you can see. So here are the blog instructions. And so it'll tell you what you plan to do, how you plan to attack moving forward with your plan. So each one of these, and this is allow you and your classmates to work together to create a collective plan. And hopefully this is useful for you so that you can develop your own for your own organization that you work with. Okay, so along the way, we have our standard, all of them have this here. You have your tools page. You can reach me through here. There is moving this thing down here. You could send an email in here. You could see who else is in your class, different things like that. Looking over here, hang on. I have a little bit about myself. I have my arrangement, I've arranged this here that has me as a coach. It has my photograph. It has my physical address on campus, my work phone number, my email. And by the way, email is usually the best way to reach me. Telephone, I'm hardly ever in the office. Has my LinkedIn profile if you want to take a look at that, plus a little video, kind of what I would like each of you to do, just explains who we are and what I'm planning on doing. Also, too, you'll notice that I have here Reflect, which is journals. I am not grading on this. If you happen to want to use it, that's great. It's a communication between you and me only. So I'll be able to see this. You have thoughts about your personal growth in this area. That's great. I would also show you something. I don't know how many of you are familiar with this, but Fresno State has an arrangement for e-portfolios. As you develop your project profile and the different things that you do in this class, if you are considering going into nonprofit work or fundraising, you might want to consider developing your own e-portfolio, because when you go out to look for a job, it's a great idea to share your portfolio of your class work. Anyway, everything else should be in here, and I think that pretty much covers it for this evening with your basics. Final thing here is I've included a little piece in here as how to make Blackboard work for you. I'd like each of you to take the time over the next week to play with the Blackboard, make sure it all works for you. If you have any questions or problems with the Blackboard, please let me know this week, because I'd like to iron them out in the first week. Also, if you can use either your cell phone or the camera on the message function, we'll go to that real quick. And get that. Discussion board. Try to open this up real quick. Open. I'll get to mine here. If I'm going to reply to myself, and this just shows you what we have, notice this little feature here. This allows you to record from the webcam on your computer. If you want to do this, this is probably the easiest, fastest way to load it up directly to your discussion board. So if those of you who weren't in class tonight could take a few moments to just say hi and introduce yourself, that would be great. You can add that into your attachment with your short bio, and hopefully that'll all work for you. And if you have any problems, please let me know. Miss seeing you, but I will see you all online, and thank you all very much for participating in this class. I'm sure it's going to be interesting, at least for the first few on us, and we'll iron out all of our kinks, and I'm sure it will be very productive. Again, thank you all for your time and your productive energy.